Who is next to go under the Tudorscope? Round 1, vote 4. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. Voting closed on round 3. Dan Andrews, the Australian politician, trailed in last place with 7%. Then Catherine de Medici on 13%. Julia Roberts on 16%. Dolly Parton 17%. But another clear leader. Mother Teresa out in front with 47%. Of the 3 voting rounds so far, she has been the one that has won by the largest margin. Accordingly, waiting in round 2 are Tom Hanks, Diana, Princess of Wales, and Mother Teresa. But who's going to join them? Well, it's time for you to put your thinking caps on to ascertain who I might be talking about in the following descriptions. Remember, to cast your vote, as there always seems to be somebody who doesn't listen, you need to go to the community section of the channel, and there you can cast your vote, joining the thousands of other people who have issued their pronouncement as to who they would want under the Tudorscope. Accordingly, let us commence and bring forth our first subject. Our first subject was born to Jewish parents in 1978. His father is a professor and a computer scientist. His mother used to work as an engineer. His grandfather had served as an infantryman, reaching the rank of colonel. Before starting elementary school, this individual lived in another country where his father worked. He then, age 16, passed the test of English as a foreign language and received an education grant to study in Israel. But his father wouldn't let him go. Prior to his main career, he obtained a degree in law from university. He then pursued a career creating a production company which produced films, cartoons, and TV shows. One of the TV series that he produced was oddly prophetic and aired from 2015 to 2019 and was immensely popular. The individual then decided to move into politics and announced his candidacy in 2018. He was a political outsider, but he'd already become one of the front-runners in opinion polls for the election. He won the election with 73.23% of the vote in the second round. He positioned himself as an anti-establishment and anti-corruption figure. He has been a proponent of e-government and of unity between different language-speaking parts of his country's population. His communication style makes extensive use of social media, particularly Instagram. His party won a landslide victory in a snap legislative election held shortly after his inauguration as president. During the first 2 years of his administration, he oversaw the lifting of legal immunity for members of parliament, the country's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent economic recession, and some limited progress in tackling corruption. During his presidential campaign, he promised to end a protracted conflict that was taking place, and he attempted to engage in dialogue with the enemy president. His administration faced an escalation of tensions with this country in 2021, resulting in the launch of an ongoing invasion in February 2022. His strategy during the opposition military build-up was to calm his populace and assure the international community that his country was not seeking to retaliate. He initially distanced himself from warnings of an imminent war, while also calling for security guarantees and military support from NATO to withstand the threat. After the start of the invasion, he declared martial law across his country and a general mobilization of the armed forces. His leadership during the crisis has won him widespread international praise, and he has been described as a symbol of his country's resistance. He was named Time Person of the Year for 2022, and opinion polls in his country have ranked him as that country's greatest president. It is President Volodymyr Zelensky. Our second subject was born in 1971. He has British and Pennsylvania Dutch ancestry. His mother was a model. His father was an electromechanical engineer, pilot, sailor, consultant, and property developer. He has a younger brother and a younger sister. His family were wealthy during his youth. His father was elected to the city council. His maternal grandfather was an American-born Canadian who took his family on record-breaking journeys to Africa and Australia in a single-engine Bellanca aircraft. His parents divorced in 1980, and he chose to live mainly with his father. He regretted that decision and has now become estranged from his father. He was described as shy and awkward at school and didn't have many friends. Around the age of 10, he developed an interest in computing and video games, teaching himself how to program from the VIC-20 user manual. At age 12, he sold his BASIC-based game Blastar to PC and Office Technology magazine for approximately $500. He attended preparatory school, high school, and a further high school from where he graduated. He applied for a Canadian passport through his Canadian-born mother, knowing that it would be easier to immigrate to the United States. While waiting for his application to be processed, he attended university for 5 months. He arrived in Canada in 1989, working odd jobs at a farm and lumber mill. He entered university in Kingston, and 2 years later he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, where he completed studies for a Bachelor of Arts degree in physics and a Bachelor of Science degree in economics. He claims he earned the degrees in 1995, but the university maintains it awarded them in 1997. He had 2 internships in Silicon Valley, one at energy storage startup Pinnacle Research Institute, which investigated electrolytic ultracapacitors for energy storage, and another at Palo Alto-based startup Rocket Science Games. In 1995, he was accepted to a PhD program in material science at Stanford University, but instead he decided to join the internet boom, dropping out 2 days after being accepted and applied for a job at Netscape, to which he reportedly never received a response. He is a business magnate and investor. He is the founder, chairman, CEO, and chief technology officer of SpaceX, angel investor, CEO and product architect of Tesla, owner and CTO of Twitter, now X, founder of The Boring Company, a co-founder of Neuralink and OpenAI, and the president of the Musk Foundation. He was the wealthiest person in the world, with an estimated net worth of US $239 billion as at July 2023. He is, naturally, Elon Musk. Our third subject was born in 1965 in Manhattan, New York City, the younger of 2 children. His father was an actor and filmmaker, while his mother was an actress. His father was half Lithuanian Jewish, 1/4 Hungarian Jewish, and 1/4 Irish descent, whilst his mother had Scottish, German, and Swiss ancestry. He grew up in Greenwich Village. As a child, he was surrounded by drugs. His father, a drug addict, allowed him to use marijuana, age 6, an incident which his father later said he regretted. Our subject later stated that drug use became an emotional bond between him and his father. When my dad and I would do drugs together, it was like him trying to express his love for me in the only way he knew how. Eventually, the subject began spending every night abusing alcohol and making 1,000 phone calls in pursuit of drugs. During his childhood, the subject had minor roles in his father's film. He made his acting debut at the age of 5. At the age of 10, he was living in England and studied classical ballet as part of a larger curriculum. He attended the Stage Door Manor Performing Arts Training Center in upstate New York as a teenager. When his parents divorced in 1978, he moved to California with his father, but in 1982 he dropped out of Santa Monica High School and moved back to New York to pursue an acting career full-time. As an actor, his career has been characterized by critical and popular success in his youth, followed by a period of substance abuse and legal troubles, before a resurgence of commercial success later in his career. In 2008, the subject was named by Time magazine among the 100 most influential people in the world, and from 2013 to 2015, he was listed by Forbes as Hollywood's highest-paid actor. In 1992, he portrayed the title character in the biopic Chaplin, for which he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor and won a BAFTA award. Following a stint at the Corcoran Substance Abuse Treatment Facility on drug charges, he joined the TV series Ally McBeal, for which he won a Golden Globe Award. He was fired from the show in the wake of drug charges in 2000 and 2001. He stayed in a court-ordered drug treatment program and has maintained his sobriety since 2003. Initially, completion bond companies would not insure him until Mel Gibson paid the insurance bond for the 2003 film The Singing Detective. He went on to star in the black comedy Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, the thriller Zodiac, and the action comedy Tropic Thunder. For the latter, he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He is perhaps best known and achieved global recognition for starring as Tony Stark, Iron Man, in 10 films within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, beginning with Iron Man and leading up to Avengers Endgame. He's also played the title character in Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes, which earned him his second Golden Globe, and its sequel, Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. He is Robert Downey Jr. Our fourth subject was born in 1983, the fourth of 5 boys, in a Roman Catholic family. His mother is of Scottish, English and Irish heritage and worked as a secretary in a bank. His father was born in Chester in England and is a former stockbroker. He attended Stowe School in Buckinghamshire. There, he was active in both sport and drama. He portrayed a member of the T-Birds in a 1999 school production of Grease and took the lead role in a performance of Dog's Hamlet, which was made by his own Grafton House as their submission for an interschool drama festival. He played field hockey for the first 11 and rugby for the third 15. In 2000, while playing rugby, aged 16 years old, our subject met Russell Crowe, who was shooting on location for the film Proof of Life. The actor shared some tips and sent a package to our subject. The two actors later worked together. Our subject was listed as one of GQ's 50 best-dressed British men in 2012. In December 2013, he was named World's Sexiest Man by British Glamour magazine. The same year, Empire magazine placed him third on their list of the 100 Sexiest Movie Stars 2013. He resides in South Kensington. He was engaged to English show jumper Ellen Whittaker from 2011 until 2012. In May 2021, he announced his relationship with Natalie Viscuso. In 2016, he started practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, having been seen training at an academy in London. While living in the United States, he began to watch American football and became a supporter of the NFL's Kansas City Chiefs. He's been an avid gamer since childhood, at one point missing a phone call from Zack Snyder telling him he got the role of Superman because he was too busy playing World of Warcraft. He prefers PC gaming over consoles, having been introduced to it by his father when he was a young boy, and has been building and maintaining his own gaming computer. He credited his experience playing the Witcher video game series prior to the show's production with motivating him to seek out the role of Geralt. He has also named the Total War series of strategy games to be among his favourites, just like your glorious narrator. And in May 2020, it was announced that a new character paying tribute to the subject would be added to Total War Warhammer 2. The subject also enjoys the Warhammer 40,000 series of games and fiction, saying he genuinely can't get enough of the lore that they have built over the decades. He is the actor Henry Cavill. Our final subject was born in 1972 in Missouri. He is of Scottish, Welsh, English, Cherokee, German, Swiss, Polish, and possibly Luxembourgish ancestry. He grew up in poverty and was raised by his mother only, after his father abandoned his family when he was a year and a half old. Aged 12, he and his mother had moved several times and lived in several towns and cities in Missouri before settling in Michigan. He had a fractious existence, with his mother fighting with her regularly, who was a social worker and was described as having a very suspicious, almost paranoid personality. He wrote letters to his father, but his mother said that they all came back marked returned to sender. When he was a child, he was bullied and had his head injured in an assault. He later recounted this in a comical way. His mother filed a lawsuit against the public school for this, but the suit was dismissed the following year, after the judge said that the schools were immune from lawsuits. For much of his youth, he and his mother lived in a working-class, primarily black neighborhood. He and his mother were one of 3 white households on their block, and he was beaten several times by black youths. He was interested in storytelling, aspiring to be a comic book artist. He began rapping with high school friend Mike Ruby, and they adopted certain names, the latter evolving into the name by which he's known today. He used to sneak into a neighbouring school for the purposes of having lunchroom freestyle rap battles. On Saturdays, he attended open mic contests at the Hip Hop Shop on West 7 Mile Road, considered ground zero for the Detroit rap scene. Struggling to succeed in a predominantly black industry, he was appreciated by underground hip-hop audiences. When he wrote verses, he wanted most of the words to rhyme. He wrote long words or phrases on paper, and underneath worked on rhymes for each syllable. Although the words often made little sense, it helped him drill to practice with sounds and rhymes. In 1987, his mother allowed a runaway called Kimberly Ann Kim Scott to stay at their home. Our subject began an on-off relationship with her. After spending 3 years in 9th grade due to truancy and poor grades, he dropped out of Lincoln High School aged 17. Although interested in English, he never explored literature, preferring comic books, and he disliked math and social studies. He worked at several jobs to help his mother pay the bills. One of the jobs he had was with Little Caesars Pizza in Warren, Michigan. He later said she often threw him out of the house anyway, often after taking most of his paycheck. When she left to play bingo, he'd blast the stereo and write songs. He's an American rapper, songwriter, and record producer. He's credited with popularizing hip-hop in Middle America and is widely considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. His global success and acclaimed works are widely regarded as having broken racial barriers for the acceptance of white rappers in popular music. While much of his transgressive work during the late 1990s and early 2000s made him widely controversial, he came to be a representation of popular angst of the American underclass and has been cited as an influence for many artists of various genres. He's among the best-selling music artists of all time, with estimated worldwide sales of over 220 million records. He was the best-selling music artist in the United States of the 2000s and the best-selling male music artist in the United States of the 2010s, third overall. He is Eminem. That concludes, therefore, our 5 subjects for round 4. Your choices are President Zelensky, Elon Musk, Robert Downey Jr., Henry Cavill, and Eminem. You can go to the community section presently to start casting your vote to see who you would like to go through to the next round to be considered to go under the Tudorscope. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.